Right, 24th of November, let's have a look at the allotment. So the chrysanthemums are blooming. I've picked quite a lot of flowers, and the green one is the last one to come out into blossom. I've been scuffling the weeds up with a hoe, and this area here is where I dump the contents of the compost heap before I move new stuff into it. And I planted some Italian ryegrass and clover on this area, and you can see the seeds are just coming up. I've tidied up the kale patch quite a bit. I've moved some perpetual spinach into here from the front, in a space where there were cauliflowers. I hadn't picked the last cauliflower today. And I've got the, let's see how we do without get the sun on it. So we've got the really nice Cavallero and also this other Russian red kale, and it's great because I can pick a couple of leaves and then eat them. Here's some perpetual spinach I moved about a week ago, and this is the purple sprouting, which is coming along nicely as far as I can tell. So over here, got my two vine plants. Have to make a big decision. Am I going to continue to have them moving in that direction, or I'm going to turn them through 90 degrees? So the decisions. Still got a bit of parsley here, which is lovely. I need to tie up the tayberry so it's not sprawling all over the place. And I also need to do something with the goji berry that's also sprawling. I actually picked what is probably the last of the, I can't find it now. What did I do with it? I thought I put it in my pocket. The last of the strawberries today, and I've cut off all the shoots of the Jerusalem artichoke and left the stems so I can find out where the plants are. And there is the rhubarb, which is all below ground now. Good. I need to move the raspberry and the gooseberry a bit so that they're not really so near the edge there. But two of the raspberry plants died, so I've certainly got space to move them back. Right, so what else have we got? I've got the sun, which is quite bright, which is... Okay, so this space here wasn't the most brilliant to put the leeks, because that's where I had onions last year, so that was but it was about the only space I had at the time. And you can see some of them look okay, others I would say they completely vanished. I reckon they had white rot. Got a couple of beetroot, which may or may not, I've picked two actually, but those ones haven't got really big roots, so we'll see how they do. Here I've got a couple of cabbages and some Swedes, if they grow big enough. This is the celeriac, and we'll have a look at what they're growing into, because they didn't used to have anything. See, it'd be okay if you wanted some sort of celery flavoured leaves, but not really if you want to eat the roots. So I moved the lemongrass here. That was a bad move, it's all died. So this is where the onions and sweet peas were, and I planted the ryegrass and some clover much earlier, and you can see the ryegrass is moving away nicely. And I've got perpetual spinach planted earlier, really nice lot of it. I've picked some to eat for lunch today. Okay, so what I spent most of the time doing today is fiddling around with the compost heaps actually. So this area here, this is the area I had the anaerobic composted manure delivered to back in the spring, and that's why I put up the wood to try and stop it falling all over the place. And then I had it as a sort of temporary compost heap. You can see I've actually moved everything around now, so I can now see if I can get some more of that stuff and get it delivered here and then put all over the site. Over here, so I've got now two compost heaps over here. I've got the one that arrived with the allotment, and where I've insulated the inside with an inch thick layer of polystyrene around the sides and over the top, and which is running at about 15 degrees, which is considerably warmer. So it's about 10 degrees, the atmospheric temperature at the moment, which is fine if you're doing stuff. So it's definitely a little bit warm. And there's 2 bags of leaves on the top, keeping everything nicely packed down. And then on the side, I've got a temporary compost heap. It's constructed out of cardboard and plastic bags and things to keep it together. It's where I hope things are going to pop down at a reasonable sort of pace. And then come the spring, maybe I can move some of that into the other one, and so on and so forth. Still got a few flowers here. Got the statice. Got the wallflowers in blossom, which really quite surprised me. They look totally wonderful. I could pick them, I suppose. I'm not quite sure whether they're going to flower in the spring or not. But they're looking really quite spectacular at the moment. And then we've got the irises. Hopefully they'll come again next year. And this patch here is where there were supposed to be daffodils, but they're just starting to come up. You can see their little leaves coming up. So I'll have to hand weed that. And the thing is, they hardly flowered at all last year, so I'll see if they don't flower this year. That'll be the end of them. Yeah, so just another view of the exciting kale and perpetual spinach. And yeah, so the next thing to do is see if I can get this anaerobe digested compost. I need to be a bit careful because I was talking to the people on the site next to me, and if you look, what they've had delivered looks much more like just cow manure, which it's not really what they wanted. So, but obviously they've put it all over their plot. Can't really not use it. And their plot is immensely well organised, as you can see. They come down early in the morning and do things, and they've got pretty much everything tidied up for the winter. So you can see the whole site over there. Okay, so that's it.